Just sticking with it. Started defending. I mean, they have a lot of athletes over there and guys that, are moving at a high pace and, having busy out there and Jock orchestrating, on offense and defense helped us out a ton tonight.
With a young team like they're going to compete in terms of, and I don't want to call it chippy, but they're going to try to impose what they are, young group. How does a veteran group like you guys have come back that tonight?
I mean, I've been on the other side of it, so I understand, just young players trying to, find their way in this league, and it's kind of more individual than a collective unit in your first few years in the NBA until you figure it out. So, I think there's a lot of that going on, and we have a lot of experience together. We have playoff experience together, and I don't want to say we know when to turn it on, but we know how to win games.
You've been in the NBA now like 20 years.
Yeah.
Just turned 26 years old.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a good life.
Do you feel like you're in your prime right now? I mean, is 26 the prime, or do you even think like that? I mean, what's that like?
I don't think like that. I just, tried to continuously get better and continuously improve. I think last, press conference up here, I said the thing about basketball, it's you can never perfect it. But I'm gonna try everything in my power to do it. So, that's just my mental, and that's my approach.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
With you guys using Mikal more as a screener, like specifically in the fourth, how does that open things up for you first on the ball when you guys throw in that wrinkle?
I mean, usually they try to throw, their third defender or fourth defender on them. And, I think a guard screen isn't something that people typically see every night. But it's the angle, Mikal has found the angle, and, we have spacing on the backside, and it's kind of pick your poison type of thing.
Jock had a good line where he said, like, the NBA is a lot of it is a 2-on-2 game. So speaking from you as from the defender now, how much more difficult is it when that screener isn't always the center and it changes things for the defender?
Yeah, it's just different. It depends on your team, depends on personnel and scheming and scouting. I think that's a big part of it. Just watching games in a different way and learning. And, we have a whole group that does that, so every day we walk into practice, we're talking about the games that happened the night before, who's playing tonight. And, that's pretty much everybody on our team. Thank you.
With DA being out, how important has it been for the bench to be playing as well as it has the last couple of games?
I mean, very important. Even when he's in, we're going to need them. I think we understand the importance of having a deep roster and a deep team. And, it's been successful for us, in the past couple of years. So, we should stick with it. And, those guys have been working before practice, after practice, they get together as a unit, and, they're going at it full speed.
Speaking of screens, you set one for Mikal, and maybe we're hoping that he's finished on that. Instead of back screen, Mikal got a layup and
He missed it.
Yeah.
We all missed some tonight, man. I think I missed one or two. Cam Johnson missed an easy one. So we just got to finish our gimmies.
we had a chance to talk to you since Clay talked, and he said that you reached out to him when he towards the Achilles.
Yeah.
Just maybe speak to that, because obviously it was news to me. What made you reach out to him during that time?
I mean, I want to say I understand from experience, but a high level competitor like that, and somebody that, if you backtrack and look how I spoke on him in the past, and vice versa, we've had a ton of respect for each other, and I think people just got carried away with two competitors getting at it, and I'm sure he's been in a lot of those, and I have too. We move on, we move past it. Next time we see each other, it's up again. Appreciate it.
You guys shot way more threes tonight. You put 43s tonight. Is that like a silence? You guys take a shot to try to go for a knockout punch? A lot of shots going in.
I'd just say take what the defense gives you. I mean, not only do we scout what teams going to do offensively, we scout how they guard against us too. And we knew the spots where we're going to be open tonight. Credit our coaching staff, for giving us the goods before the game. And sure enough, we were open, a lot behind the arc.
Jalen, at 15 in the first 3 quarters, then last quarter, we didn't have any. So what was the strategy to stop him and trap him and take away that baseline guard?
shots and things.
Yeah, those guys, if you give them, a guy like him, you give him too much space, he's going to shoot it. And if you try to crowd him, he's by you and, he's going to be up top. So just finding a good balance and just guarding him with the team. That's when I keep saying Busy and Jock, like they're orchestrating that. Usually he has a ball screen coming, or most dominant guards have a ball screen coming, and, the bigs communication is really important in that. Appreciate that. All right, y'all. Yep.
Guys pull away and making the point. It wasn't feel like that they keep them hanging in there.
I mean, they're, a young team, but a team that you can see their potential. You can see how they can win some games this year because they just keep coming at you. They got second chance points in the first half, and that was just will and toughness and grit. The second half, they just kept attacking the basket, and if you foul them, it gives them the chance to set their defense. But I thought our guys adjusted to their style of play. We got better at our shift defense. We stayed in front of the ball a little bit better and made it tough on them at the basket. And then offensively, 29 assists. Chris had 15. Book had 30, but a number of guys contributed. I thought Mikhail's slashing tonight, again, was a huge plus for us. And then the bench points, Jock has 16, and we had a number of guys contribute off the bench that allowed for us to have a bit more balance than we're typical or used to having. But I thought just staying the course against the team that just keeps attacking, whether it's off the dribble or the slashing or their ability to just come up with a 50-50 ball or an offensive rebound, that can be deflating. But I thought our guys emotionally handled it tonight.
How do you see Cam going into that starting role? What it looks like now? He's not pressing. He's just finding the shot and just letting it go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it takes a minute to become a night in, night out starter, but I think his acclimation will hopefully get smoother over time. It's still hard to say. It's a work in progress for sure, but he started before, but he hasn't been the night in, night out starter from the jump where people are game planning for him at the start of the game. And so I think those guys are used to playing with each other, but I think over time, we may learn some things about that lineup. I think defensively is where he has improved, his ability to stay in front of the ball. His weak side defense for sure has gotten better. At the beginning of last year, that was a huge concern for us, watching him on the weak side, as most young guys struggle. But I think it's an environment that will allow us to grow. And then we're starting to settle into a rotation pattern of he and Chris coming out and then coming back in. Maybe that can be something that we can hold on to for the season, but we'll have to see.
Monty, I'm not sure what the numbers say, but it feels like Mikhail has been a bigger weapon for you guys in those short rolls while setting screen.
Yeah.
Like from that look with him, particularly when you use it in the post.
I mean, I think you learn from the great teams in the league and historically, right? That's something that Golden State has done for years. It's just been Draymond in that. But we feel like Mikhail, with his shooting ability, he can stop and pop. He can throw the lob like he did to Biz, and he can finish. And I was talking to him about, being able to play in that environment, but also being able to make the reads and understand, quickly what the defense is doing and then make a quick play. It's just another thing that we feel like we can grow that we didn't have in last year. And that, is on me for not taking the risk to do it. Now we're taking more swings, more bites at the apple as it relates to giving he and Cam the ball, Landry the ball, and allowing those guys to make plays to try to give us a bit more balance.
Devin obviously turned 26 today.
Yeah.
And you said the other day that you thought he was one of the best all-around players in the NBA. Do you think, I know guys always get better to some degree, but do you think we're seeing peak Devin Booker, like right now, we'll look back and these are the kind of, he scored 30 tonight and nobody's even really
It's hard to say. I mean, I think guys like Book, because they do it so consistently, you kind of take it for granted. It's hard to say whether or not, he's only 26, there's certainly levels for guys to get better at. They may not add, a left hand or anything like that, but there's certain environments that you can put them in to allow for, him to take another step. But again, I think he'll be measured on his ability to free up other guys, because he does draw 2 guys every night. And I think that allows for Cam and Mikal on the backside to play more freely. And I don't think the elite guys get enough credit for that. They may not add some facet to the game that they worked on in the summertime, but they may add a value to other people around them. I think that's what made Steve Nash and makes Chris so valuable, because they just made everybody else around them so good. And I think Book is in that class.
Yes, took a lot of threes tonight to make it tons, but I think you shot 75% on 2.
Yeah.
What did you like and dislike about the balance?
Well, I mean, I think, again, you just take what the defense gives you. I don't think our threes were forced. It wasn't like we were taking 4 or 5 dribbles and jacking up threes. They were out of their team helping. Houston was helping in the paint. We were getting shots on the backside. Those are the kinds of threes you want after you've run a bit of offense. Again, I'm probably in the minority in the league when it comes to 2s, but I like them just because we have guys that can make them, and they allow for us to set our defense.
Monty, you guys got probably running on the boards a lot tonight, and so the team like the Rockets, they're second best rebounding team in the league, and 4 offensive second chance points and 10. So what exactly changed in the fourth quarter to stop?
We just got in their way. We didn't have time to practice or anything like that to figure out how to box out. It's just a matter of guys doing it. In the first half, that's how they, stayed close, their second chance points. In the second half, our guys had more attention to it. They're number 1. It's early, but they're number 1 in that category. And you can see why. They send 3 guys like every time. And our first shot defense was pretty good. We just couldn't come up with the ball. Sometimes it's a bad bounce. Sometimes it's just a big, strong, physical guy. I mean, Jayshawn Tate and Martin Jr., those guys are thick and forceful. And Şengün is a big kid too. So we had a tough time keeping them off the glass, but I thought we did it when we needed to.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.